I'd like to acknowledge the Eora people of place on Wangal country, the traditional custodians of the land we walk upon. As you travel across Wangal country, remember that this land is sacred and all living things have a place in the web of life. The Wangal are recognised as a centre of the circle of belonging at Sydney Olympic Park. We respect our elders, past and present, and our youth as young leaders who guide us on the journey of healing through belonging.
What is special about the design and public places at Sydney Olympic Park that promotes universal access and inclusion?
So universal design in the context of Sydney Olympic Park, the beautiful venue we're here at today. 20 years ago in that stadium I was racing, and probably one of the most vivid and profound memories I have of Sydney Olympic Park in the accessibility, inclusion, universal design kind of thinking of space is just how easy it is to get around. Like, it's flat. Every venue you can get into very easily. Every venue you can bring family and friends with you, whether you have a disability or not, or some kind of accessibility requirement. Equitable in its access, dignified in its access, and inclusive in its access. 3 key principles under universal design, and 3 key principles that this wonderful facility basically embedded, over 20 years ago when they were building.
Accessibility and inclusion are of vital importance in public space. They say to the community, we are open and we are welcoming to everyone, regardless of gender and background and age.
Inclusion is more about policies and procedures, but the biggest one is about attitude. Not looking at people that are in a wheelchair or who are blind or somebody who's deaf as being any different to anybody else in the community, just having different ways that they do things. Access to me talks more about the built environment and making sure that the infrastructure is there to enable people with disabilities to actually get in places.
As soon as you arrive here, whether you arrive by bus, rail, car, there's a place for you to arrive. And when you either come up a lift or come out of a car park or step off a bus or get out of a train, you've got all the best facilities around access.
Sydney Olympic Park was built with the intention that everybody could access it. So as a result, it was built with very minimal steps. It was built with paths that would accommodate people using wheelchairs. We even have tactile ground surface indicators built for people with vision impairment to follow paths in this big, wide, open space. I've got the train station behind me and I want to head over to the stadium. So the directional tactile ground surface indicators link from the train station all the way through the open area, the forecourt, over towards the stadium. So somebody with vision impairment using a cane would be following the edge of the directional indicators as they leave the station, making their way towards the stadium. They've got a lovely straight path that they can just keep following, and they would continue until they hit the warning indicators which tell them to stop, that they're near the road or they need to move in a different direction.
The accessible paths of travel are very wide, very generous. These bollards have a clear 30% colour contrast with their background. This allows persons with a vision impairment to easily identify these to prevent injury or impact. We've developed accessible parking spaces that we believe goes over and above what is typically found outside Sydney Olympic Park for ease and safety. A bollarded area, turning circle for wheelchairs. We have ramps either end of the accessible parking spaces so we can get rear or front entry wheelchair access. We can go from the side.
Access and inclusion has always been a top priority for the Sydney Olympic Park Authority, right back before the Olympics. And what that means is out here is everything is accessible, from the train stations to the parks to all the sporting facilities. And what we deliver here at Mirvac is no different. So all of our community here that we have designed for is all, got accessibility top of mind.
I do find it quite accessible, which is great. I can get into the venues, I can access what I want, and it's the same access as everyone else. And I think that's the most important thing, where I don't have to go in a back door or a separate way.
Being a Sydney-sider, hosting the event here and being in this event, I just felt so proud. This is the best city in the world, this is the best host city in the world, and we've got the best attitudes towards people with disability anywhere in the world.
At Sydney Olympic Park Authority, we're really committed to making sure our place is as accessible and inclusive as we can, but we can't do this alone. We want to work with the private sector, we want to work with the not-for-profit sector, and we want to work with the community to make sure that we continue to learn and we grow together to make this a place for everyone.
For more information on access and inclusion at Sydney Olympic Park, please visit www.sopa.nsw.gov.au.